announcers behind the scenes at SKOR North and 1500 ESPN have sports opinions. So they want you to hear them. It's the perfect digital sports soapbox to scratch that Minnesota sports itch. This is the SKOR North Taxi Squad.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the SKOR North Taxi Squad, available on SKORNorth.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the SKOR North YouTube channel, pretty much anywhere you get your podcast. Thankful that you are here joining us today. My name is Jason Stormer, along with the usual cabbies on duty. We got AJ Fredrickson and Artis Woods. I'm actually a little out of focus on camera really quick. Let me try to fix that. Okay, maybe that's a little bit better. Guys, how you doing on this Thursday? We're recording on a Thursday. I've got a whole lot to say about Minnesota sports this week. Not only did the Minnesota Vikings finally get their first win of the NFL season, but the Minnesota Twins, my beloved childhood Minnesota Twins, finally broke an 18-game playoff losing streak and a 21-year playoff series streak as well. They finally advanced. We're going to get into all that today, but I am just in a state of jubilation because of all this, guys. But I also, I have a pretty gnarly story to tell about game one as well. But how we feeling today?
Feeling pretty good, man. Feeling good. Feeling refreshed. You know, your camera was just fine before we started.
I know. The trick is you can put your hand in front of it and it'll focus on the hand really quick. And then if I slowly take it away, it should come back.
Move the mic. Move the mic out of the picture.
Move the mic out of the picture. Okay.
And then try it again.
Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna do this kind of thing.
Oh, this is tremendous. Tremendous content for the YouTube.
In 1080p. There we go. Hi, guys.
I'm feeling good as well. It's been a very whirlwind week. Small announcement for myself. I had make it earlier, but I'm now a full-time member of SKOR North. So I'm happy about that, but always a taxi squad member at heart. So I plan on going nowhere as long as the two gentlemen alongside me don't want to kick me off for whatever reason.
Never. We could never.
And plus, the vibes are great here in the Twin Cities. Twins advanced. They went not only their first playoff game in almost 19 years. They were 2 days off from 19 years. But they go ahead and they close out the series. They're set to face the Houston Astros this weekend. First game set to go, I want to say Saturday. It should be Saturday. Yes. They travel down to Houston. We'll touch on that in a bit. But, yeah, I feel great. This has been a fun week so far.
And you got a cool opportunity to actually work the game a little bit, too, through ESPN Radio.
Yeah, it was very cool.
It
was cool to kind of see that behind the scenes because, just like all of us, we've been behind the board so many times for ESPN Radio, MLB games, NBA games, whatever it may be. I was able to kind of help out on the broadcast this time on site, and it was a very cool experience to kind of see, the other end of things.
Yeah, like I said, we got that text, and I was like, yo, that is dope. But again, congratulations. We talked about this off air, but if anybody deserves a promotion, it is this guy right here, AJ, because I would be terrible at my job without him.
You'd be fine.
I just want to
assure you, you'd be just fine.
Him, yo, AJ, can you help me with this show? It's like, I got you, bro. Thank you. Yeah. So yes, congratulations to AJ. But shout out to the Twins, man. As somebody who does not watch a ton of baseball, and I'm the first to admit I'm more so basketball and football than I am baseball. But as somebody who is not much of a fan, as kind of a casual just watching, that was a special moment. Mm-hmm. That was a special moment to see Duran, there throwing pitches. He messed up his hand. I don't know if it was a splinter or what it was at the end of that last inning. I'm watching the game at work with Grant, and Grant was like, look, this is Minnesota sports. This is what happens to us, thinking it's all going to go south. Pitches is wide left, super high, and then out of nowhere, strike after strike after strike. I was like, wow, this is it's a special, man. I mean, I think playoff baseball might be some of the most exciting playoffs to watch, in all honesty.
I didn't know you had the chance to watch that with Grant.
Yeah.
We've had a friend of the show, Grant Wengster.
Great friend, yes.
But that must have been, there out of everybody I know, he must have been the most pacing, walking around. He couldn't watch, but he could watch.
Dude.
He couldn't take his eyes off it. Just an insane person for that full 9 innings. Especially, oh my God, his heart beating through his chest when Duran came out. So that must have been an insane experience for you.
He was losing it.
Me and Grant went to the game where they clinched the AL Central. And Duran got into some trouble in the 9th inning there, gave up a couple runs, and he was pretty apprehensive then. But Artis, I mean, we went to the Vikings game where they came back against the Colts again with Grant, and yeah, that was intense. It was very fun. He's extremely fun, but man, he just loves Minnesota sports probably than all three of us combined. Grant's awesome. He can come on the show anytime he wants. But yeah, guys, I mean, look, I've been a Twins fan since about like 2005, 2006. Really didn't get into sports till I was like 11 or 12. But that 2006 Twins team hit me. When they lost in game 2 to the Oakland A's, I was so sad. I mean, they were down by several runs in like the 6th inning. I just decided to go in my backyard and hit my wiffle ball and bat around, and I was crying and I was singing, "We're gonna win, Twins, we're gonna score." I just had no idea how to handle that moment. But I didn't think that more than half my life would go by at that point until I would see an actual singular Minnesota Twins victory in the playoffs. It was absolutely stunning, absolutely phenomenal. Not to bring the room down at all, but I got just an awful story to tell about me actually trying to go to the first game against the Blue Jays. Bought a ticket on the secondary market. Never had an issue with this website. I'm not going to name names or anything like that.
Why not? They deserve to be named.
I don't know. Maybe they want to be. Maybe they do. You're right. They deserve to be crucified. Absolutely. But maybe they want to be a future sponsor someday. I'm not going to turn down. I don't know. I don't want to burn any bridges here. I already was really, really mad on Tuesday. I'm trying to take a very peaceful approach. Anyway, so I buy a ticket through the secondary market provider. Never had an issue with them. And normally they send your ticket like 5 or 10 minutes after you confirm your purchase, because the ticket holder has to release it to StubHub and then StubHub has to send it to you. Well, it says in the fine print, all right, it might take an hour before you actually get your ticket. And I bought it at 2 p.m. The game was at 3:30. And I'm like, all right, whatever, no big deal. It'll eventually get here. I've never had a problem. I drive to work because I was going to take the train. Still hadn't gotten the email. Got on the train. Still no email. Got all the way to Target Field. Still no email. First pitch happens, and now I'm pretty pissed. I go to the box office, see if they can help me out. And they inform me by looking up my confirmation number and everything that my ticket had already been scanned in. I was sold an already purchased ticket through this secondary market ticket provider. I asked what tickets were available. Nothing standing room only. The cheapest seat was $71. I'm not getting in for $71. I went home. Very, very sad. And like the worst part about it too, as I was about to go to the box office, that's when Royce Lewis hit the home run, his first home run. So the fireworks are going off and everything. And I'm just scrambling like, what is going on? I'm missing everything. And like I had Twins season tickets from like 2008 to 2014. The Twins have always been my favorite team. The team I've invested the most of my time and effort in as a fan. And I wanted to be there so bad. And I got screwed over so hard. And anyway, that's the story.
You have more opportunities to go to games because they advanced.
Yes, right? This is true. Although my usual postseason rule for all my teams is that I like to save up any money that I do have to potentially go to a championship round. So I might like forego any Twins playoff games if it means I can save some money and go to a World Series game, which I know is really lofty, but that's the dream, right? Not saying it's going to happen, but
hold that breath. I'll tell you that.
I know. Hey, the pitching's pretty good. I mean, Pablo and Sonny with this 1-2 punch, bada bing, bada boom. This is the best pitching the Twins have honestly had going in the postseason. It's been great. But yeah, but anyway, that was the negative part of it. It was still just euphoric. I went home, caught the rest of the game. Obviously, game 2 was just awesome. The entire crowd, the vibe at Target Field was just something that, again, I envy that I didn't get to be a part of, because Target Field has never gotten to really feel that electricity and that kind of just host that kind of environment. It had those playoff games in 2010, but the Yankees swept us in that series. So to actually like finally christen Target Field with postseason success was just really meaningful to Twins fans, and just to break these gosh darn streaks. Gosh, the mathematical improbability of losing 18 straight baseball games, just that alone. Yeah. I think like Phil tweeted out that it was like 1 in 2 billion or something like that. It's just, It's amazing. I mean, if you're going to either be historically good or something at the very end of that spectrum, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's been euphoric as Twins fans just to finally have this. It's been so long overdue. It shouldn't be this hard to win a single playoff game.
And speaking of finally having things, the Vikings finally have their first win of the season. It was against a really bad team, and it was very unconvincing, but they got a win, and now they can build towards that Super Bowl that is going to inevitably happen.
It's happening. Hashtag it's happening. It's happening with the Twins. It's happening with the Vikings. It's happening for everyone.
Guys, I've been dying to talk to you about this. And now that we are talking on a Thursday rather than maybe like a Tuesday or Wednesday like we typically would aim for, we have more knowledge. We have, in this case for the Vikings, the longest list of a injury report that I've seen in a long time. These guys are banged up, and if there couldn't be a worse time for it, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, possibly Taylor Swift are coming to town. There's going to be pure bedlam in downtown Minneapolis this weekend, and I'm not confident in the purple.
Jason and I was talking about this just yesterday, right? Talking about the potential confidence in this game. The Chiefs don't look great right now.
What do you mean they don't look great?
They look at last game against the Jets. They looked
true. Yes.
Suspect. Zach Wilson was out there willing and dealing against that defense, and the Chiefs got away, in my opinion, with some weird calls late in game, which they kind of get often. But we'll talk about that another day. So, I mean, they're still the Chiefs, though. They're still the Chiefs. It's still Patrick Mahomes. It's still Travis Kelce. You still got, Chris Jones on that defensive line. So it's going to be a battle. And, the Vikings, like you just said, they should have blown this team out. They're still turning the ball over at a rapid rate. It's unbelievable to see the amount of turnovers that are being racked up every single week. Now, I am happy with the defense. The defense did show up. The defense did play well. Bryce Young, wish him the best going forward, but he, got sacked 5 times in the game. I like how the defensive line, got home, limited them to 13 points. But at the end of the day, man, it's a win, Jason.
Wins a win. Any given Sunday. Let's go. Put them up. Yeah, if you're 0-3, you got to take what you can get, right? And the really encouraging thing to me is that was so far the epitome of Brian Flores' defense against the Carolina Panthers. Harrison Smith, for a 34-year-old, that was arguably the best game of his career. Got the strip sack that won him to take it to the house on that defensive touchdown. I believe was he on the sack of the final play of the game as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. This was just a dominant performance by the defense. And especially it was encouraging me because it was in the second half of the game. It was maybe a little leaky in the first half, but still, Bryce Young seems he needs a lot of work. I know that he's dealing with an ankle injury, but it seems like mechanically there's still some things that maybe he needs to develop, and he's got plenty of time to do that. And the running game for Carolina really was hardly inspired. Miles Sanders, former Eagle, he was there, but he's been splitting time most of with Chuba Hubbard. Now, for the most part, Adam Thielen cooked a little bit. Adam Thielen got his a little bit. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a definitive revenge game, but he still was able to get a little bit against us. But yeah, I expect us to, you might be asking for trouble if you do this. Obviously, the Vikings love blitzing, but from the stats that I've read and everything like that, Patrick Mahomes also loves it when teams blitz against him. Short throws. That's the kind of a place where Travis Kelce really feasts. If you blitz, bring all the linebackers in potentially. Travis Kelce is going to be sitting right in the middle of the field, 10 yards, and that's where he gets most of everything. But like Artis said, we were talking yesterday a little bit. I'm feeling a little confident just because the Chiefs just do look a little bit shaky. Sure, you're not going to expect Mahomes to turn over the ball like he did against the Jets, and that was the best pass defense that the Chiefs have played all season, so you got to give the Jets a little bit of credit. But Pacheco's really good too. But they still can't establish a wide receiver, though. They just can't establish a single guy. Kadarius Toney has fallen off a complete cliff. Sky Moore has flashed a little bit, but nothing consistent enough. And I know that, I mean, we're dealing with a secondary core for the Minnesota Vikings that's 31st in the NFL right now. So, you know, it doesn't really matter which team you go up against, whether they got a strong wide receiver core or not. This is a very susceptible defense. But if the Vikings cornerbacks can really kind of shake off the dust a little bit, this may be a wide receiver group that they can do it against. Because if you can get Mahomes to really just rely on Kelsey on the running game, you know, you can probably maybe expect some decent PFF scores, which, you know, Vikings corners at this point really need. But yeah, the Chiefs look shaky. That Jaguars game as well. They did not play well against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, they blew out the Chicago Bears, but you know what? Everybody seems to be doing that these days. But not going to say yet my prediction, obviously. But I mean, the Vikings, I think, have actually a pretty decent chance than more people are giving them.
See, I hear what you guys are saying, but after a rough game like that, do you think Patrick Mahomes wants to almost possibly lose to the Jets and then then go in and have another like bad game against the Vikings?
Right.
He's going to be Mahomes on steroids, not literally, but possibly. You know what I'm saying?
But
Test him before the game.
right.
He's going to be on a different level. He's going to be locked in. Like they're on the road, so it's already going to be. You know, he's already. We saw through quarterback, like this guy is an animal. As soon as he gets in the facility, he's got this like alpha dog mindset. So he's gonna want to go out there and be like, I'm gonna kill these guys. We're gonna stab them in the heart. I'm the alpha male. Like I am the assassin. And he's shown that in his career. And so when he has a not great, like a mediocre game, he's going to immediately bounce back. And I think he's going to take it to another notch. And same thing with this this Vikings offense. I think they're going to have a little bit of trouble with the defense of Kansas City, just because they're going to want. They just gave up that many points to Zach Wilson, right? They let them make it a game. They're not going to want to do that against the Vikings because Kirk Cousins is more than capable of throwing the ball, slinging it to whether it's Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, who, to my knowledge, I don't think he didn't catch a pass last weekend.
One target,
that was
which I was going to bring up. I have an issue with that.
And then TJ Hawkinson as well. I mean, the ground game now, I will say it. I will give them credit because that combo, Cam Akers was a very refreshing change of pace.
Yes.
He looked smooth.
Yeah.
Like I think his vision maybe is what separates him from Alexander Madison. And I do want to give this more time. Obviously, I don't want to just immediately say that I'm not going to make the take of I think Cam Akers should be the lead back. I don't think that. But I think you're going to see that continue to level out to where eventually it's almost going to be that 50-50 split and nobody's going to be that bell cow guy. But from what I saw, the vision from Cam Akers to immediately recognize a hole, whereas I think Alexander Madison, this is not saying he's like, it's better than me, what I would have. But for the elite NFL running back, Cam Akers seems to have a little bit better decision-making in the moment where it's a split second. And sometimes that's what you need. That split second of here's the hole. My body weight's already shifting. My step is already in place. I'm halfway through. And then that half second of a step is what allows you to slip through a D tackle's hands or not. So I think Cam Akers was a great change of pace. And I liked what I saw from him in game one. I just don't feel as confident as you guys do. I just don't.
Whoa.
Maybe
I haven't made my prediction yet, sir.
I didn't say
I did project.
Confident. I was just saying that, me and Jason was having a conversation at the Chiefs. If there's any time to catch them, now might be the best time because it's early in the season. They're coming off kind of a rough game. Kirk Cousins also had, kind of a rough game by his standards. I mean, 139 yards, only 12 completions. I mean, they didn't win because of him. You know what I mean? Like the defense for the first time in a long time, I feel like kind of carried them to a win. He threw 2 interceptions that had a 37.2 QBR in that football game. So I understand from that standpoint that the Vikings could also be due for a bounce back game offensively. You talked about Jordan Addison. I just don't. We talked about this in the offseason. I am not targeting out. Now, granted, KJ Osborne only had 1 reception as well, but I am not targeting anybody besides Justin Jefferson and maybe TJ Hawkinson over Jordan Addison. He's a stud. He needs to be more involved in the offense on a not day-to-day, but game-to-game basis. Like, he just needs to be more involved. And I think he will be this upcoming Sunday. So I could see, I'll put it like this, AJ. I'm not going to give my prediction just yet, but what I will say is I don't think the Chiefs, even on a bounce-back game, given the fact that the Vikings also had a rough game offensively, will, if they win, I don't think they blow the Vikings out, especially after. You know what I mean? Like, I think even if Patrick has one of those like Patrick Mahomes like games where he puts up 31 points, I could see a world where Kirk Cousins also catch fire and puts up 27, 28, or surpasses him and puts up 33 points without giving my answer yet. You know what I mean? Like, I can see that, because I think Kirk is not, he's not Patrick Mahomes, but I think he can bounce back too, and I think he's looking to bounce back as well. And this is, I feel like 1-3, you have an opportunity to move up to 2-3. Kind of an early season, as crazy as it sounds, was still a losing record. Kind of an early season statement game for the Vikings. Doing this game, it could kind of change the vibe for the season.
Oh, it changes everything. I think it changes everything.
It changes the momentum. It changes how the players feel in that locker room. You just took down potentially the defending champions. You know, everybody for the Chiefs is healthy for the most part. The Vikings obviously are banged up. So, you know, there's obviously the thought of, hey, if we're fully healthy, who knows, you know, what the limit is, the sky's the limit for this football team. So, you know, I think this is going to be a very interesting game to watch. I think it's going to be similar to the Chargers game, where it'll be a shootout. I know the Chiefs defense is surprisingly, shockingly better this year than they have been in years past, but I still don't believe in that defense against this offense. When this offense is clicking on all cylinders, and last thing I'll say before I pitch it to one of you guys, they are due for one game. Just one game, fellas.
Not going to happen.
One game where they don't turn the ball over.
No,
just one. Just their due, bro. It has to
Not
happen,
this team.
bro. It has to happen at some point that they don't turn the ball over via fumble, via interception. It has to happen at least once.
I just want one where they don't turn it over in the red zone.
Oh my
God! God forbid.
Stop it.
Every game.
Four red zone turnovers. Stop giving the ball away there. It's just ridiculous. You cannot be. Also, that pick six was pure comedy. It was a bad
I'll give Kirk credit for taking the angle, but he got just absolutely destroyed
in a contract period, which was wild.
Hey, you know what? You got to win.
Yeah, just a crazy play that was. But stop turning the ball over in the red zone. That is literally 7 points.
Yeah,
you need that. You're gonna need it this weekend. You can't be giving away points against the Kansas City Chiefs. All right. So if there's gonna be a weekend they figure it out, it better be this one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Took the words right out of my mouth right there.
Yeah, you're done for. I think if you even turn the ball over one time against Kansas City, I just think, man, good luck. I think they take advantage of pretty much every opportunity they can. They're not perfect by any means, but it's just, I mean, you're going up against Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he is the absolute best of the best. I am encouraged, though, a little bit, guys, because it seems like, even though, like AJ mentioned, the injury report is very long, not only for the Vikings, but also for the Kansas City Chiefs, we seem to be maybe getting some guys back. Looks like Garrett Bradbury was a full participant in practice today as we're recording this on Thursday, October 5th, which I think has been the key issue, really, of just any criticism with the Vikings offensive line. I think his absence has really have a negative impact on Ed Ingram and Ezra Cleveland. Austin Schlottman is doing a serviceable job, but we really need Garrett Bradbury back. And for him to get in a full, not just a limited, a full participant practice today, I think it is huge. Looks like Lewis Cine is coming back as well. Brian Asamoah has been very absent, guys. He's been on the field a little bit, but in terms of like playmaking, that was a guy that I thought really was gonna solidify at least optimism about a youthful core in the linebacker position this season. And so far, that just really hasn't really worked out too much. But for the most part, and also even though Jordan Hicks, Brian O'Neill, and Harrison Smith were DNPs on Wednesday, looks like those were just rest related. Nothing to do with injury, just some veteran rest day. I mean, obviously, Harrison Smith deserves one more than anybody else. But again, another reason I'm feeling a little optimistic about the Minnesota Vikings in this game is because we're starting to finally get a little bit healthy. Lewis Cine also seems to be getting healthy too, even though obviously he's pretty far down on the depth chart now. I mean, he's even past Josh Metellus. Unfortunately, I don't see that really maybe changing throughout the season. I think Lewis Cine is pretty much locked into his position where he is at this point, unless obviously injuries or something happen. But and I'm looking at the injury report for Kansas City too. Really, the only one is Chris Jones, but he was a full participant today as well. Yeah, he is going to play. George Karlaftis too. Apparently, he was on their injury report, but wait, L'Jarius Sneed. Okay, I mean he's the main corner for Kansas City. If he's banged up just a little bit, I mean Justin Jefferson could have another big game.
Justin Jefferson should have a big game with him on the field or not. No, honestly,
this is true. No, this is true.
He's got nothing for JJ, bro.
No, I know. It's just I'm waiting. No, yeah, I'm just waiting for just the floor to finally happen with JJ, because eventually he's going to have a game with less, like, that's not just like 150 yards. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of curious, when is that going to happen? I don't really anticipate that happening with the Kansas City Chiefs here in town.
I mean, this past game he only had 85 yards. So you could say he's due for another one.
That might be it. Yeah, you might be right. Maybe the 85 is the floor. Yeah.
And maybe, hey, against the Chiefs, he's going to probably have to go for 150. But again, Addison, let's get the ball to like he reminds me, and people don't crucify me in the comment section, okay, when I bring this name up, because he's an Eagle. But give me a second. Let me make the comparison here. He reminds me in a way of Devontae Smith. He's a really good route runner. He's a speedster. He just finds ways to get open. He has a similar kind of body type, kind of like herky-jerky, almost like Devontae Smith as well. Get him the football, bro. Like, get on the ball. And not just on like deep routes and deep posts, like, hit him on a couple slants, hit him on a couple ins and outs, and, allow him to, get some yak and get more involved in the football game. Now opens up the field so much more. But if you're targeting JJ and TJ the whole time, and then the third option is KJ Osborne, no shade towards KJ Osborne, but he's not your receiver too. We talked about this before the season started. I said, okay, it's fine. He's number 2 on the depth chart, not trying to think too much of it. But when the season starts, that ball needs to go to Jordan Addison, because he's the guy at number 2 right now. He's the guy that's really going to open the field. He's the guy who defenses don't have a ton of film on, so he's gonna scare a defense more than KJ Osborne at this point in his career. He's young, he's fast, got a lot of talent. So I say all that to say, even if JJ doesn't go for 150, 130, even though I kind of think he will on this defense, no, honestly, I don't think they have any answers. I think Jordan Addison could easily go for 85 to 100 on this defense as well.
Is it weird that the conversation with Justin Jefferson is that, like, his average game, like, we're expecting 120. That's like an average day.
That's goat status.
It's so weird.
It's crazy.
Like I think he was under 100 last week, or he had like 95 yards or whatever, and
touchdown too. Yep.
Yeah, and so fantasy owners or managers are probably like, hey, thanks for saving it, but like it's just such a crazy thing where you get 90. And it's like, did he have a bad day? I'm not sure. No, he had a fantastic day. He was still Justin Jefferson, and he had a touchdown taken away because of a hold, I want to say.
Yes.
So I mean, he's just a monster. But the thing is, this is not like a groundbreaking thought or anything, but he's going to have a worse day if the offense is doing better in a sense. Not all the time, but like his statistical day is going to probably look worse, because that means Jordan Addison's going to have that deep threat bomb that Kirk airs and, probably hits him in the hands with, or TJ Hawkinson. They're finally utilizing the number 1 paid tight end in the league, and he's coming across the middle and he's picking up those 8 yards on a crossing route or whatever. You got to watch the game is what I'm saying. It's one of those, like, it's been the Kirk Cousins discussion, I think, for 4 years now, which is, he had a really great game. Well, did he? Sure, he had 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, but look at like the throws and stuff in the game. It's one of those things. You just got to watch the game. So to everybody that maybe I did see like, JJ lost a step this, no, he's fine. Everybody's good.
No,
Yeah, and he was due for, like Jason said, he was due for kind of like if people considered that a down game. Again, he had for 85 yards. If people consider that a down game, he was due for a game where he didn't go for 100 yards. And at some point, defenses, and I'm not saying the Cardinals or not the Cardinals, the Panthers defense is amazing, but at some point he's going to get more defense, or he's going to get more double teams. He's going to get, bracket coverage. He's going to get, the best corner. So he's not going to go crazy every single game. Just most games.
Right.
Most games he's probably going to get over 100 yards. He's probably going to finish probably close to 2,000 yards on the season again, because I think he's still on pace for it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. So, him and Puka Nacua. Who could have expected that to happen? That guy is just amazing. And he has a fantastic name. And he makes us forget about who Cooper Kupp is. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I'm just kidding. I mean,
he is nice, though.
He's filled in perfectly for that team with Cooper. I mean, I don't think they expected that to happen at all. I'm guessing TJ, too. TJ Hawkinson in this game is definitely going to want to perform as well, because now that he is the highest paid tight end in the league, he's going to want to show out against the best tight end in the league. And like we've already touched a ton on the wide receiver too, I am getting a little concerned that we're getting into this point in the season. We're 4 games in and we really don't have an established wide receiver too. I don't think that Jordan Addison has done enough to separate himself from KJ Osborne or vice versa to really be like.
I don't think he gets in this. Not to interrupt, I'm sorry, but he doesn't get enough opportunities within the offense.
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, I think Jordan is better than KJ. It's just there hasn't been enough production from either one of them to say definitively who wide receiver 2 is. I think KJ still is wide receiver 2 on the depth chart. What I really want to see from Jordan in this game, if possible, is like a 6 or 7 yard reception game for like 100 yards. You know what I mean? I want to see variety with him, because really only with Jordan we've got are these deep touchdowns so far. I want to see honestly what he can do in other aspects as a wide receiver, because really the only action we've gotten with him are these deep shots, which are great. Don't get me wrong. Please keep doing those. But if he is really going to supplant himself or insert himself as wide receiver 2 of this team, we got to see more of his route running ability and just what he can do. But I mean, still, it's really encouraging that he's been able to do everything up to this point. Obviously, he's not putting up like Puka Nacua and Zay Flowers numbers, which, by the way, I said like in a podcast a long time ago that I thought Zay Flowers was going to be the worst out of the 4 wide receivers that the Vikings took with Jordan Addison this run. Shush. I'm gonna zip my lips on that one, because it finally looks like that the Ravens drafted well a receiver for Lamar Jackson. But we're not talking about the Baltimore Ravens. We're talking about the Minnesota Vikings. And Taylor Swift might be in town. I don't know why we haven't called the Chiefs the Swifties up to this point. I wonder if she's going to be here. I really do. There's a bunch of swirling on social media about like, she's not going to be here. She's got like some kind of. Well, she's got her movie coming out. I think maybe like this week or next week, and so she might be like promoting her movie, but here's the thing. But guys, it doesn't really matter if Taylor's here or not. Here's the problem, though. Jim Nantz and Tony Romo are calling the game for CBS. Hello, friends.
Oh God.
It's been over 10 years since Jim Nantz has called a Minnesota Vikings win in which he has broadcast a game. It was back on like September of 2013. Where Jim Nantz and the lead CBS, because obviously he's been the lead CBS guy for so long. It's been over 10 years. And I feel like every year the Vikings get a Jim Nantz and Tony Romo or whoever is color commentator. I feel like we always get that like one late afternoon CBS game a year, and I think this is the one. But I don't know, guys. I feel like I've been talking optimistically about the Vikings, but simply because Jim Nantz is in town, not Taylor Swift, we might be doomed.
No, more so like Tony Romo. Oh my gosh, the most beautiful 5-yard pass we've ever seen. Did you see?
All right, Jim, it's coming right here.
my favorite is the slow-mo, and it's like a close play. Like, did he get in the end zone? And it's just silence, and then it's just him, and it's what?
I don't know. Oh my god!
I don't mind Tony. I get it. Like he's not for everybody, but like, I mean, when he first came on the scene and was predicting plays, that was really cool. But that kind of got old, and I think other color commentators started doing that too. But he's fun. He's fun.
He's cool. I'm just gotta poke fun. You know, he's an ex-Cowboy, so
this is true.
I just have to.
This is true.
But shall we dive into predictions, fellas?
I'm okay with that
so.
if you guys are. I've had plenty of time to think about it here.
I think as a part of our predictions, we should also predict if Taylor Swift will be there or not. That should be an extra thing added to the prediction. Maybe not added to our record, but just added to like this team wins, this is why, and Taylor Swift will or will not be there.
Okay. Well, Artis, it was your idea. Would you like to start us off?
Sure, I'll kick it off. This is what I will say. I think, like I said earlier, I think this is going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout on either end because I feel like both offenses are due for a bounce back game. I like what I saw out of the Vikings defense this past week, but again, they're going up against Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. So it will be a tougher matchup. So I see it being more so of a shootout similar to the Chargers game. If they can manage to not turn the ball over, I think they have a really good shot at potentially upsetting the Chiefs. I think there is a chance there. I think there is a possibility. If Zach Wilson can give that defense a hard time, I'm one to believe that Kirk Cousins, coming off of a week where he threw for 139 yards, and before that he was on pace for like 5,000-6,000 passing yards on the season, can come off that game, off a bad game, and have a really good game. So I do think it'll be a shootout. I think it'll be a great football game. I think this is a game that, you know, everybody's throwing their best shot at the Chiefs. I think this is a game that the Vikings get up for. I think if they can win this game, again, it changes the momentum of the season. I think it comes down to a final drive and probably a game-winning field goal by the Chiefs. I still think the Chiefs get it done. Like, I kind of, after me and Jason had a conversation yesterday, I went back and forth, but I bet against Patrick Mahomes before. I don't think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs in this football game. I'll say a final score of, I really think it'll be high scoring. So I'll say 35. No. I'll say 34-31 Chiefs.
Nice.
All right.
And Taylor Swift will not be there.
No Swift.
No Taylor Swift.
Okay.
All right.
No faith.
I think the Chiefs are going to win this one. And I know that the Vikings are, surprisingly to me, only 3.5 point dogs as of this moment here.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a little too small. I'm not saying they're going to get blown out or anything, but I think it's going to be a smidge more than that. I just am too confident that the Kelce Mahomes connection is going to be too much. Like, I know Kadarius Toney could drop 20 passes, but it's Patrick Mahomes. I don't want to bet against him. I think he's going to come out on top. I'm going to say Chiefs 30, Vikings 24.
That's fair.
All right.
Like, it's not going to be a blow. It's going to be a closer contest than I was maybe thinking earlier in the week. And then Taylor Swift, she was just here somewhat recently over the summer, I want to say. So she knows the area, and her movie is coming out soon. If you think for a second that she's going to miss this game, you are outside of your mind. The promotional press. Oh my God. She could have pneumonia. She could have one of those deathly, what you ever play the Oregon Trail? Where
I haven't since third grade on school computers.
What is there? There was one disease that everybody always got.
Dysentery.
Dysentery. She could have dysentery, and it would not matter. She would be in a booth with whoever. The real question is, what notable, like Josh Duhamel? He's local celebrity. It's not whether or not she's going to be there. It's going to be who is going to be with her. She will be in the building at US Bank Stadium. Vikings lose 30-24. Taylor Swift in the building.
Yeah, no, local celebrities. Because like in New York, I mean, she was with like Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman and Blake Lively, and those are all. I mean, those are super duper stars. Local people, Josh Duhamel, definitely. If there was like odds of like who would be in the booth with Taylor Swift, Josh Duhamel is definitely number. Even if he's a North Dakota kid, we still kind of adopted him as Minnesotan.
There's no reason for
if Bob Dylan ever wants to come out of hiding, that would be amazing, but doubt it.
I don't know why I'm thinking this, but I'm gonna bet Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell.
Are they local?
No, but that's why. Like, I don't know why, but that's where my mind goes to. Like, that they seem like a couple that are like, hey, we're gonna get away from the kids because we're quirky and relatable. So we're gonna go hang out with Taylor Swift, like every other parents do.
Yeah, I'm Anna.
Yeah.
Right, man, Jason, yeah, I don't know. I'm curious, like, maybe there's like concerts in town too. I don't know, like, what concerts are in town this weekend. Maybe there would be local musicians, but oh my gosh, that's an even more perplexing thought of who might be in the booth with Taylor, as opposed to if she's going to be in the booth at all. I'm with AJ. I think Taylor will be in attendance. I'm a huge movie buff, and this film has already achieved more than $100 million in pre-sales, which is like one of the greatest of all time. It's right up there with like Avengers movies like Infinity War and Endgame, which obviously are like the biggest Avengers movies. So like as a film buff, I respect the absolute hell that this money is going to make. It's an IMAX screens and everything. I might even go myself. I don't know. We'll see. I think she's going to be there just because, there, like you mentioned, there's going to be a whole bunch of promotions for this kind of thing. And the NFL already asked all of its broadcast partners if they would run ads for her movie for free. A couple of them said, no, you pay us. But a couple of them actually said, no, yeah, okay, we'll do it just because we'll get the publicity and everything and the dollars will come from there. So I think she'll be there, even if, I don't know how much of a legit relationship her and Travis Kelce are in. And again, it is very, the timing is unique of this because her movie is coming out and like partnering maybe with the NFL could help promote it. I don't know. Anyway, I hope they find love and are very happy together. But yeah, I think she'll be there. But anyway, what am I supposed to also give a prediction score for the game? Okay, yeah, sure. No problem. Only if you want. Okay, here's the issue that we've had with our predictions so far, gentlemen. We've all picked the same team through 4 weeks so far. We got to fix that. And I've been optimistic about this Minnesota Vikings team. I didn't like what I saw with the Kansas City Chiefs against the New York Jets. I'm going to predict Skol. Taylor Swift's going to be doing Skol chants by the end of this game, baby. A 29-26 victory for your Minnesota Vikings over the Kansas City Swifties. And this, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, changes the season. We beat the Chiefs. We're going to beat the Bears afterwards. Then it's game on against the San Francisco 49ers. Let's go. Let's get the season back on the schneid. I'm inspired by my Minnesota Twins. Let's do it, baby. Come on. Let's go. 29-26. Goal. Anyway, is my camera out of focus again or what's going on? Okay, no, we're good. All right, cool.
I might cry. That is unbelievable. Thank you. Artis, hey, congrats on having the same record as me next week because
we can't keep doing this. It's just it's bothering me more than our listeners. It's just we got to fix this. So yeah, we got to break the cycle.
Oh, yeah,
the cycle.
All right.
So anyway, gentlemen, a lively show as always. We'll be back next week, of course, to break down the Kansas City Chiefs game, preview Chicago Bears, and also break down anything that happens with the Minnesota Twins. By the way, the Timberwolves played their first game today on victory against the Dallas Mavericks in Abu Dhabi, I believe. They're over there doing a NBA Middle East kind of thing or something like that. So, gentlemen. Yeah, you got to promote the league. It's great. And that's honestly, like out of bucket list places to go, Abu Dhabi, it looks absolutely insane. I don't think I'll ever be rich enough to ever go, but I love to fly an Emirates plane there and like go on that tower that's like the tallest in the world or whatever. All right, gentlemen, any final thoughts before we wrap up Taxi Squad for the week?
Nothing I can think of other than I'm wishing the Twins the best, man. I am watching, man. This is very intriguing. This is very fun to see and watch. So any moment I can catch, I will try to catch. Go Twins.
I'm gonna say that if the Twins, if they can win 2 games, that's a win for fans. Like I think Minnesota Twins fans are probably like set now. Dream big. I'm encouraging you to dream big.
Real quick, not to interrupt your last words, but if you had to put a percentage on the possibility, you know where I'm going. The possibility that they get to the World Series, what will be your percentage?
Just get to the World, not win?
Just get there.
Okay. I saw this was actually posted. I saw like some website already like post like the probabilities. I think the Twins out of all the 4 American League teams actually have the second best odds behind Houston, who they're facing. So they think that the Twins have a better chance than than the Orioles and the Rangers, whoever comes out of that. So I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, this pitching staff is good, guys. This is the best pitching staff the Twins have had going into a postseason, in my fandom, at least since 2006. That Liriano Santana 1-2 punch was pretty deadly too, but like This bullpen is pretty dang good too. I don't know, Artis. Like
I can see
35, 40%. Somewhere in there, 35, 40%.
To make the World Series.
I'm not even kidding. That was I swear I saw something online that was the percentage. The Astros had like in the 40s, but the Orioles and the Rangers were like lower than that. I don't think like a lot lower, like 31 and like 27%. But I'm not even kidding. I should have this up. I wish I could sound more legitimate than I am, but
I'm looking at Fangraphs I'm looking at Fangraphs right now, and they're giving the Astros a 56.8% chance of winning the divisional series against the Twins.
Okay.
I think it's lower than that. I'm going to say
it probably is.
It's high. It's 39.2.
Okay.
39.2.
Okay.
I think if they played the series 10 times, 100 times or whatever, the Twins win about 40-ish%, but just under. You know what I'm saying? So the Astros, they have their pitching like set up, all set to go. And the Twins obviously have that. The real question is, because I haven't heard about it, how important or how severe is the blister / cut or whatever on Durant's finger? Because if they can't close out a game, it doesn't matter how good it was in the first 8 innings.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Not that
thankfully, he was able to stay in the game. I mean, I think that was the most encouraging thing. And he just, I mean, looked like the Blue Jays had given up. They had some really feeble swings, man. I know it's 100 miles per hour, but even the last batter, just like he just didn't seem to care at this point.
I would
just
love to be
go
proven
play
wrong,
hockey.
though. That's my last thought. I would love to be proven wrong. I would love to see the Twins advance because that'd be tremendous. Just tremendous content. The content. Think about Taxi Squad, ladies and gentlemen. All the numbers we'll receive from a Twins postseason run.
But, seriously, it would be great. And it's unfathomable. I'm a Twins fan, and we are in uncharted territory as far as I'm concerned. So this is gravy on top of the mashed potatoes. You know what I mean? So I'm good with that. Gentlemen,
really quick.
Yes.
And I know that we only record once a week, but if you are a Twins fanatic out there and you want daily Twins content, Mackie, Judd, Declan, they do the Twins, the SKOR North Twins show every single day, wherever you find your podcast and on YouTube every day. Go ahead and check that out as well.
Yes, please. And thank you. Well, thank you again, everyone, for joining us for another lively episode of the SKOR North Taxi Squad. You can listen to us on SKORNorth.com, Apple, Spotify. If you want to see our lovely faces and see my camera go out of focus, you can check us out on YouTube and pretty much everywhere you get your podcast. Anyway, got to wrap up this show. My name is Jason Stormer. That's Artis Woods. That's AJ Fredrickson. We will talk to you next time on another lovely episode of the Taxi Squad. Take care. Bye-bye.